What'd you do?
All right, so we done a pretty big thing. So we went from Baja Bosses in a 40 and a Mickey Thompson. Then we went to the Mickey Thompson Pros, run them a whole year.
Perfect.
We ended up with probably one of the first sets of the new compound SX2.
What do you think?
So far, so good. I mean, they are not have no balance beats or nothing. I think they ride better than the Mickeys already that had balance beats in them. They drive, it's got a little bit more wonder than the Mickeys, but they are a little stiffer tire and they're not broke in any. So I kind of expected that because the Mickeys done that till I broke them in good. So I mean, we got like 2 miles on them.
Yeah.
But they don't seem to drag as much on the Jeep as the Mickeys did, so I like that.
Yeah, that's good.
That's what I want to see if we can get them hot.
I smell it.
See how they stick.
Oh.
That's a smell of desire, my lady.
That's from putting 5 miles on the highway on one spin on them. That's how soft they are. Now, I'm sure they're not soft like a sticky,
No.
but that's a lot softer than them pros. I mean, you can see the little where they got them siped at. Where's the good one? This big one. I can close it up.
All right.
I like that red limiter. Let's see, the front ones, they're still soft too. I mean, so that's a lot softer than the old compound was in these 40s that I looked at. So much softer. I mean, you can move the lugs, and that's what the guy from TSL said, or from Interco said. He said his new compound was gonna work good on, supposed to work good on rock. So I go with what the man and the company says. So go back to good old TSLs. So we went from Baja Bosses in a 40 and a Mickey Thompson. Then we went to the Mickey Thompson Pros, run them a whole year. We ended up with probably one of the first sets of the new compound SX2. These, the only thing they make in the 40s, they do make Interco makes a 15, Interco makes a 1539 regular TSL and a 17 inch. Well, I always like the SXs over the TSL. The only thing they made in a 40, and the reason I didn't go with them to start with was the only thing they made in a 40 was the SX2, which is their newest SX line. When they originally made the SX2, it was more for mud, but they still made the 40s when I got done the 40s, but I didn't like the compound in them. They was hard, and they didn't make them real long. Then I got where I couldn't find them, so I went with the Mickeys and then went to others. So blah blah blah, done all that. Finally, I was like, screw it. I hunted them. I said I want to try some, no matter what. I couldn't find them online. Everything. Everybody said discontinued. I just called Interco one day. I was like, hey, what's up with the 40s? And they said, well, we quit making them during COVID. I was like, well, you gonna make them again? He said, yep, they're on the way back. He said, then we have redone the compound. And I said, well, if you've redone the compound, what has changed? I said, because the other one sucked on rocks. He said, well, the other compound was made off mainly for mud with the deep lugs and all this. But we've changed the design of the compound, and it's going to be more mud and rock for crawling, or more towards crawling now. And I said, well, I got Mickeys. I've been running Mickeys because I always had TSLs and the boggers and all. And he said, well, trust me that these are going to be more of what you want. And so we ended up with probably one of the first sets of the new compound SXII, because he said none had been back in the United States yet. And these finally come in. I waited a little over 2 months.
Yeah.
From when I ordered them. He said they had been ordered and they were shipped, but he didn't know when they'd get here. So I said, well, put my name on the list. When they get here, we will step away from Mickey Thompson and go back and try the 40. And he said, well, the only other thing we got is the 1539s that most people keep in stock. So if you don't like these, you might have to try them. I said, well, if you get an SX2s, the SX is what I've always liked. And you don't make the regular SX, I can't run a 43. I don't want a sticky. But I've heard they're going to supposed to be having a 42 in this also. Which is this is load range E. 42 I think is a C load range. So I don't know, but I can't run a 40 or 42 or 43, so I was like, after I talked to the guys from Interco, I was like, all right, I trust y'all, have always through the years when we dealt with them before. It's always good to us at Galloway's and everything, so I was like, put me on a set, so.
Let's do this.
No turning back now. Slice and dice, baby. So a little update on the TJ. We got a little time this evening to stick it on the ramp. New tires on it. Checking some clearances. She tight. But it all clears. Everything from the new stretch. Good. Bump stops. Can't really tell, but they are hitting. They touching. Shocks just barely bottomed out. Pretty happy. We got the rear. We cut the rear so the tire misses. It's on the bump stop. Up in the spring. Still got this little shock. Like it's supposed should be, so the shock ain't bottoming out. Looking pretty much like I want it to. So the front shock you can see It's bump stopped out, not bottomed out. Still got just a touch of stem. Tires clearing the fenders. Everything is back underneath. Everything's clearing. So I think we're ready to try it out.